Today is tire day for Sappy, the sap covered 1009. So the tires that were on Sappy were 3100 1050s, or 31 by 1050 15 tires. The date code was no newer than 2001. This is 2026. Those tires were bad. I got it to where I could drive it, and they were more square than round. So needed tires. Which, I always need tires. I got enough vehicles, I always need tires. But it got worse this year. My 1009, my original, back in 3 months ago, I was pulling a log to wrap around the burn pile of the chain, got too close, something already in the burn pile, poked a hole in the sidewall. Thought, oh, my BF Goodrich 33 1250s. They're not that old. Looked at the date code, yeah, they were 16 years old. They were old. But I needed new tires. $324, I think is what I saw for a piece. Discount and tire rack, plus mount and balance. I found a set of 4 for a whole lot less than half that. Actually paid for 2 tires. 4 used tires that were less than a year old by the date code. Some kid had bought them for his Ford Ranger, 33 1250 15s, his 90s Ford Ranger. He said, the car just drives terrible, I don't know what's going on. Yeah. Anyway, he went back to normal size tires. He sold these tires. And I drove to Waco, picked them up. When I left my classroom for retiring almost 4 years ago, I knew I was going to miss the lift. And then the next order was the alignment machine. And I got lift. I fixed that. It took me 4 years to do it, but I got it. The next thing I really missed about my classroom was the snap-on tire machine and the Hunter balancer. But I haven't had to use it. I haven't had to, besides taking the Porsche or the Subaru to discount tire in the last 20 years, I've used the stuff at home or at work, but I haven't had to use it in almost 4 years. Well, with those BF Goodrich tires on my 1009, I needed mount and balance. Guy in town charged me 20 a piece. It's like, all right, $100 or $80, 4 tires. Okay. But when he was balancing them, he wasn't taking them all the way down to 0, 0. 0 inside, 0 outside. He was getting it to below 2. I even asked. He goes, yeah, you won't feel it. Really? In my classroom, I took it to 0, 0. That's how I taught my students. But it's their machine. I'm the customer, but they work their tail off mounting and balancing them and picking them up and all that kind of stuff. Okay, fine. Then the 1008 and a half comes along. And we got those big 37-inch tires. Same guy charged me 30 a piece to mount and balance those, which it took 2 guys. For each tire to get air in, they had used the big air tank with the nozzle and pop and hit it and all. I'm glad that was good. But I sat there for almost 3 hours. Then along comes Sappy. Well, I'm planning on this at all, but I need tires. Facebook Marketplace. I found a guy over the other side of Houston by Intercontinental, Rodney. Thanks for holding the tires for me. Last weekend, I drove over there, 5 BF Goodrich 33 1250 all-terrains with really new date codes, 5 tires for $100 more than I paid for the 4 tires up in Waco 2 months ago. But now I got a mount and balance. I don't want to go spend, since he charged me 30 for the last tires, he's probably going to charge me 30 for all 3 of these, or all 5 of these. I don't want to spend 150. So I dug out my grandfather's bubble balancer, tire balancer, Acra Speed balancer, and all the old weights I got from him 24 years ago. And I cleaned it up, and I'm going to do a whole nother video about this machine and how to do this. But this is the second tire of the day on the balancer, and look at that bubble right there. I got weights here, and I got weights there. I still got to knock them in. I got to transfer the ones on the tire to the backside, but we're right on it. I've already done So I got 5 tires. That's my spare. Actually, that's going to go under red. My son needs a newer spare because his spare, I think, is an 04 date code on red. But that's the first tire I mounted and balanced it. You see the big 1 1/4 weights. 2 of them on each side. 2 on this side of the wheel and 2 on the other side. But that's the only wheel I had that didn't have a tire on it. Had no paint, so I painted it the other day, and now it's a nice, pretty 33 1250 with a nice painted wheel. But I got stations. There's my balancing station. On deck to get balanced. Tires to still get mounted. And since this is Tim's Teachable Moments, I thought I'd do some teachable moments here. So the 715 and the flatbed car hauler are my other 2 stations. To break the tires down, I use the high lift jack. And I'm going to show the drop center part on the next station. But for the front of the tire, the outside part, 1 time down, and this pops the bead. For the back side, like this here, the back side of the tire, the drop center is way down there. And this is my first lift on this one. Our first, using the 715 weight to push it down. It pushed it down, but it hadn't popped. And the first tire I did today, I took it down, jacked over here, took it down, did over here, took it down, did over here, went around and around and around and around, and it's just, So I started playing with the next one, and then I'm going to show on this one here. This is just I call it a tire spoon. You see that? Yeah, it's just a big chunk of metal with a big tip on the end. And a small sledge. I got the bead down. It's almost to a drop center on that part, but the rest of the tire is solid. But if I come over here, hit that, and work, there it goes, almost. Work my way around. It must have popped while I was talking the other stuff because it was not loose. Anyway, that wasn't a very good demonstration. This and a hammer with the high lift holding pressure on it, and to me that works out really well to get the tire off the back part of the long side of the drop center. All right, and we got my other tire station. I don't know about everybody else, but I can only wrestle a tire in so many different dimensions. Because if you're trying to use a tire iron and you got this and the whole thing starts flopping around, it's just, so I took my spare tire off my trailer mount, and I'm going to put a link to the trailer spare tire mount. It goes in the pocket on the thing. It just screws in. Actually has a thing it's wedged in. I use that just to hold it. That way I'm only having to fight the tire, not the tire and the wheel, which is great. Oh, another thing. This is a Milwaukee M12 1/2-inch compact. What's the number on this one? 2563-20. I had the 3/8 one, and I had the big boy 1/2-inch twist your arms off one. I thought this one would be good. With the 12-volt battery, it doesn't have the oomph. If you need a 1/2-inch drive, but this is no better as far as breaking stuff loose than the 3/8 one. It works great. For tight things, when you have to have 1/2-inch drive, it works, but it will not break the really, really stubborn stuff off. But I'm using it to mount dismount tires here. All right. I do not normally have trouble getting the outside bead off the rim with just tire irons. And I'm just using regular old tire irons. The same thing I use for my 2-piece wheels for the military trucks. But the back bead always gives me troubles. I'm just wrestling like crazy. What I've learned to do is put my biggest tire iron in here, lay the tire over, and then use a hammer. Don't do this with aluminum wheels. With a steel wheel, hit the tire. Oops. Keep pressure on it. There. That's my teachable moment. Don't wrestle it. Secure the wheel somewhere and use a hammer. It's a whole lot easier. All right, another teachable moment. Putting the air, trying to pop the, get the bead on. Once I put the tire, mount the tire on and put air to it the first time, getting enough air into there. If you pull the Schrader valve out of the valve stem, pull that out of there, and if you have one of these clip-on chucks, it has this little piece in the middle. You see all this? It has this little piece in the middle. This has to push the Schrader valve. If there's no Schrader valve to push, it won't let air through here. But if you take this thing apart, pop this thing out, then put it back together again, put it down so I put it back together. It's live. It's full air all the time, but I got the O-ring in there twisted. Clip this onto the tire, the wheel you got to mount, and pop this on there, and you got all the air you can get. Of course, you got to undo both things, but anyway, that's it. Talked about balancing, talked about breaking the beads with the high lift jack and using the tire spoon, or whatever this thing's called. For the previous two tires, I had to do it and it worked. So I stopped there on this one just so I could show y'all how I did it, and darn thing went and popped itself for whatever reason. Milwaukee tool. Oh yeah, just because I am new, I try to make this a Milwaukee tool ad, but I will put descriptions in the, oh yeah, another thing. Putting a new valve stem in. I've had this wire rope thingy with you put on here and you pull it through. Once on the side of the road, it works great. But this is my 5th wheel today, or my 4th, I got one more to go. I've already done 3. And my hands are tired. This thing, you've got to pull. There's in my classroom, I had a snap-on, like a pry bar type that screwed onto the valve stem and pop, worked great. I went in, took a break a little bit to go get a snack. I ordered, couldn't find the snap-on one for less than $50, but Amazon has one for 10, so we show it tomorrow. When I do the other one on the tire balancer, I'll talk about that pry bar type valve stem insert tool. Much better than this thing here, but this works on the side of the road. Oh yeah. What I've learned to do is with my clip-on air chuck with no valve in there, get so pop pop, we pop. I pull it off, put the valve stem in. I just hook this thing up and walk away. It's great because I can just set the pressure I want. And I can go be taking other tires apart or putting weights on wheels or whatever. Really handy. So I'll put a description of that too. Anyway, tire day for Sappy. Hopefully it'll drive instead of or galloping. It galloped. I drove it this morning to go work out and it was galloping at about 40 miles an hour. All the tires were lined up with their off roundness. I had to gallop. Anyway, hopefully the teachable moments helped out. Thank you for watching.